This is a message to all my supporters of this podcast. I'm introducing a new supporters program. You can contribute a small amount as a one-off payment to show your love for this podcast. Thank you in advance for all your contributions.
Hi, this is a short shift podcast, and I just wanted, and also a live video as well. I just wanted to talk to you today about goals and setting goals and how you can do different types of goals for different types of important things that are key to you. So you might find that it might be useful to set long-term goals. So that means your aim in 20, 30 years. That's what I'm kind of talking about, rather than just thinking, well, what's for 6 months or whatever. Equally, that is valuable, but we're talking about goals and how you can achieve them. So you really want to think about salary that you want to earn, or size of business, and really go out for it on this. Really think to yourself, what are your long-term goals that you really want to achieve and be able to get there in 10 years, let's say. Now, that's incredibly important to write down. And that's why you need to think about it. You need to spend a good while thinking about probably the 10, 12 things that you want to achieve in the next 10, 20 years. And actually thinking about that really gives you a good insight into what actually you can achieve. But I would say, if you're doing these long-term goals, really push out the boundaries. Really think, what is the maximum that I could be? Because I reckon the first time you try it, if you didn't listen to this, you might think to yourself, oh, well, I want to be able to be manager. Well, no, aim for partner, aim for CEO, aim for owner of your own business that has a turnover of £1 million. Really think to yourself, what could you actually achieve if you had the right conditions and the right things involved? What could you actually achieve? Right. So now you put them to the side. You've used your brain, you've used your cognitive brain to be able to work out a strategy to how you're going to achieve your long-term goals. Okay? Now, the next option is to set your goals every 6 to 12 months. I also think this is a good idea because this breaks it down into what you can actually achieve within the next 6 or 12 months. I would review it twice every 6 months. And therefore, you're strategically thinking about what can be delivered. Again, using your cognitive brain, you're working out what actually needs to be delivered. And this step is actually thinking about how you're actually going to achieve it. So if your goal is to be promoted, then you might want to take some notes on how you're going to achieve that and structure yourself on being able to tick off those steps towards getting promoted. Okay? So this is now your sort of medium term, okay? You're putting down achievable targets that you need to be able to get in the next 6 to 12 months. That might be setting up a podcast. That might be, it might not even do anything to do with business or your career. It might be buy a new car. It might be something, attend your children's summer fete or your children's summer presentation, whatever it is. These are the things that you need to think about all facets of your life: business, career, your personal life with your partner, and with your children, and maybe your wider family, all the things that you want to achieve within those 6 months. So it's incredibly important that you think about those and how you're going to break them down into steps, because then you find that the 6 month or the 12 months become a lot more achievable because you're aiming for the next thing, which is a small step. All these small steps make you able to reach your larger goal, which might be 6 months or 12 months. And hopefully, if you stay true to your long-term goals, then in 20 years, you might be able to achieve your long-term goal, which might be own a business of several £1 million or multiple £1 million or a billionaire, whatever that aim is. Now, the last one that I think is also important is writing down a mantra. So far, what we've done is we've used our cognitive brain, our rational, our sensible side to the brain to be able to work out all the different things that are important for you and how to achieve them. Now we're going to use something slightly different, which is using your subconscious of your brain and being able to repeat. So you put down sort of aims, things that you want to either appreciate in your life or your family's life. It might be an ambition. It might be a something physical. It might be something that you've run a marathon or run 10K. It might be able to buy a new car. Whatever that is, you need to put down those 10 things. Well, I'll say 10 things. It could be 5 to 10 things, I would say. And what you want to do is you want to write them down, and you want to look at them every time before you go to bed and repeat them over your head. So go through them 2 or 3 times. And then when you wake up in the morning, go through them 2 or 3 times again. And what we're doing here is actually using your subconscious, and I don't think we know all of the potential of our brain. They say that we're only using, 10% of the potential of the brain. So I think it's incredibly important to try and utilize that and try and achieve these goals. Now, what I find is I do them, and I usually review them every 3 months or so, sometimes a little bit longer, but the aim is when you're reviewing them is by the time you're reviewing them, they should be so ingrained in your brain you can actually repeat them, and you can actually, as a mantra, you could repeat them over and over and over again, with the idea that it then seeps into your subconscious and you're able to deliver that. And the whole idea of when you're asleep, you can build up greater knowledge and understanding and embed those ideas so that you can use them in your daily life. Okay, so that's the end of the podcast. If you've got any comments, then I would welcome them, and that's fun. On Mark Hayward 169 on Twitter, on YouTube is all my videos. Facebook, there's Absolute Business Mindset, and my podcast is on iTunes and Stitcher and Spotify.